everybody. Okay, so today we have a yin session for you. So if you want to grab everything that you need, first of all, if you've got a mat, then roll your mat out. Maybe gets you more in the vibe if you've got your mat. If not, just on the floor is fine. Bolster if you've got one, or cushions, pillows, your blocks. You will need a belt as well in this session. Grab your blanket to make yourself all nice and cozy. And if you've got some really nice loose fitting pants or your jogging bottoms or pajama bottoms, then grab those. It does make a difference, even from being in leggings and things like that. Put your pajamas on if you're doing this, or really loose leggings. You'll see it will make a lovely difference. Okay, so if you're ready to start, just bring yourself just up into a seated position. Extend your spine just by maybe sitting up on a block, so you feel as if you can sit tall. Just give your shoulders a little bit of a roll out, just so you feel as if you're a little bit more connected down towards your block, and you're feeling a little bit more grounded. Okay, now just closing the eyes for a moment. We're just going to settle in first of all, just to tune in with how we feel, and just to give us a starting point just for the session. So just bringing on board how you actually feel physically. Now this is just maybe any aches or pains that you have. If you know that you have any injuries or anything like that. So going into the session, just clear with those aches and pains. So we're not looking at ignoring them. We're just registering that they're there and giving them a little bit of respect. So we're not working to the point of pain or anything, just working within your comfort range. And then once we register where we're at physically, just taking the focus now more inwards, just to see how we feel on a much more mental or emotional state. So maybe exciting and raring to go and having this time for a yin session, or time just to practice just by yourself, or you may be carrying a few more other issues with you. So again, just recognizing and just being aware of your starting point. And then once we have that, just then bring your attention just onto your breathing. Just a soft, smooth, quiet breath. And just noticing the quality of your breathing. Length of the breath. And notice where you actually feel the breath moving in the body. So if we place one hand just on your heart center, place one hand just onto the lower part of the belly. And again, just with the eyes closed and just bringing that awareness just onto your breathing. And just noticing which parts of the body are moving. Is it more in the chest and in the top part of the chest? It may even be up in the throat, or are we feeling that in the belly? So just noticing to begin with. And then if we're not already feeling that in the belly more, just take the focus more to your lower part of your belly, so we can just start to feel that the lower part of the belly is breathing rather than up in the chest and up in the throat. So this just brings on a more relaxed approach if we can just take it down a little bit deeper. And it means that we're breathing then through the diaphragm and not just kind of really using all the muscles, just even up around the top part of the chest and up into the neck or to help us with that breath. We can keep those relaxed. We can help them just to ease down a little bit and just, again, just let the diaphragm do the work. So just a few rounds here. And then once we have that, just bringing the hands away. And then bringing the palms together. So thumbs are in towards the breastbone. And just noticing when we place the hands together, just keeping a little bit of space just in the palms of the hands, just as if holding on to something precious. And think about what it is that's brought you to the session. What is it that you're looking for? Now, setting an intention is your journey towards your goal or your aim. So think about what it is that you want, whether that's working towards a healthier, stronger body, or whether it's for inner peace, happiness, and bliss. Think about the steps that you need to be able to take to get towards that goal. So this will be your intention. And then when you have that, just bringing the thumbs up to the space between your eyes. So coming into the Ajna chakra. And this is your center for your inner knowledge and wisdom, your intuition. So bringing some focus to that point just allows us to look maybe inside, look a little deeper. And then taking the hands up over the crown. So your intention is then out there. And then we can draw the hands back down again towards the heart center. This being our center for love and compassion, and always remembering to work with that for yourself. And then bringing the hands just down to the legs. And softly just blinking the eyes open. Now I'm going to start the session just with a breathing technique, pranayama technique called Nadasadhana. Now in this, I'm not going to mirror image with this, so you just have to listen to the instruction. So left hand palm facing up, join the index finger and the thumb together. With your right hand, you're going to be bringing your index finger and your middle finger in towards the palm. So you're working with your thumb, your ring finger and your little finger. They're going to hook just, or not so much hook, they're just going to rest over your nostrils. Okay, we keep the head in the center. And you can either keep your eyes open for a moment just till you're familiar just with the flow of the breath, or you can close your eyes just right from the start and just tuning in. So we're going to just keep the fingers and the thumb just over the nostrils, but still being able to breathe. Now take a deep breath out. Breathe in through both nostrils. Block off the left side and breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right. Block that side, exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Block at the top, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. And carrying on, exhaling through the left. And inhale again through the left, exhaling through the right. So you're breathing in and out through alternate nostrils. Now, making sure that your fingers and your thumb just stay in contact with the nostrils the whole time. So this will allow for flaring of the nostrils, and it'll help you keep a focus and keep kind of the same duration for your inhalations and exhalations, and a nice steady even flow of the breath. We're just keeping going, just inhaling through one nostril, exhaling through the other, and then back inhaling and exhaling through the opposite side. Make sure that your hands stay relaxed, that the body stays relaxed. Again, we have that nice wide feeling across the top of the brow. And then the next time you're going to exhale through your right side, just bringing that right hand away, make it look the same as the left. And still have the feeling of inhaling and exhaling through alternate nostrils. And then the next time we exhale through the right side, and just bring your inhalation into both nostrils. And exhaling through both. And then carrying on just normal breathing, inhaling and exhaling through both nostrils. So you may find now that you can get a much deeper, smooth breath. So Nada helps to regulate both hemispheres of the brain. So we're not kind of too much in the creative side, and we're not too much in the logical thinking side. Just keeping, hopefully, in a nice balanced state. Okay. So just opening the eyes if you haven't already. And then we're going to start to move into our first posture. So for this, you're going to need your belt. Now you can take cushions and things under the knees. So we're going to be having the soles of the feet together. And so if you want to kind of pad out with cushions under there, you can. So you would place them under both legs. You're going to need the belt on quite a large loop. So kind of maybe about so. Just place it just straight over your knees. Now you can pull onto that belt to make it your legs as wide or as much as you want to. I'm going to move that so you'll be able to see a little bit clearer. So bringing yourself down to lying down, and let the belt do the work. So you want to feel as if there is a little bit of a challenge. You want to feel as if there's kind of like, so we're feeling a little bit of a gentle stretch. But on this first one, it is merely just to be able to help us to relax just a little bit more. So unless your legs are right down to the floor, use the belt. And just let them support you. Now, hands are just going to rest just onto your belly. So I'm going to keep an eye on the time, and we're going to work roughly about 3 minutes per pose. So we're just lying here, again, just focus on your breathing. A soft, smooth flow of the breath in and out through both nostrils. Now, if I can say in our yin practice, when we're working in a yin practice, it's more like kind of like the Goldilocks effect. So, you know how she did with the porridge, where it was either too hot or too cold, and then there was one that was just right. So our Goldilocks effect for the yin practice is going to be, if you're not feeling anything at all, so that's kind of like the too cold, then you need to step it up a little bit. If you're feeling too much, you feel as if you're really kind of hanging on to a posture, this would be your too hot angle on it. So then you need to kind of step it back a little bit. You want to be able to feel as if you've moved into a stretch, you're feeling that stretch. And then we're simply going to be using the breath to enable us to be able to release that edge or that stretch. And then you'll find that your edge will start to just maybe disappear. And then we can start just to, again, next time we do it, it's maybe move in, and our range will have slightly increased. So the Goldilocks effect. We're just going to keep that focus just on how we actually feel in the pose. So maybe look at it just from that physical angle to begin with. And then just let your thoughts move to inside the body. Now, our 3 minutes is nearly up here in this pose. And when we're in this position, it kind of feels a little bit easier because we're really getting the support from the floor. So 3 minutes may seem a little bit longer in some of the other poses. Okay, so here's our 3 minutes. So we're just going to now bring the legs back in together. And I can maybe just draw the legs in a little bit. And then taking the legs just out straight. So you can just let the belt just stay on the body and just keeping the legs together as much as you can. Let the feet then fall out to the sides, and this will start just to relax a little bit in your pelvis. Let the arms just be kind of down by your sides with the inner arms and palms facing up. So after being in any pose, we need to come back to what we feel is kind of like our state of balance and to get the correct alignment. So when we've moved the body and we're really starting to relax into it, this is where kind of we start to make changes in the body. So when we come back to what we feel is perfect alignment, we may even notice kind of little things going on in the body. So we're only here for maybe about 20 seconds or so. Okay. And then again, we're going to be needing our belts. So we're going to have the belt. If you make it a really long loop to begin with, this is going to go over the head and underneath your arms. A little jiggling around just to be able to get that right up underneath your arms. And then you're going to place your right foot, so across the ball of the foot. So you can see I've got that underneath, a little bit twisted as well. So that's it. So underneath my arms. Now you can start off with your left leg just bent just to begin with. So you can really start to feel kind of where your edge is. So we can bring that leg in and you can feel kind of like I'm feeling a stretch there. So I'm feeling it, but it's not going to be really annoying for me to be able to keep that. I can just feel that stretch and that's where we want it. So when you feel okay with it, we can then stretch away just with your the left leg. And we're just going to be holding here. So belting nice and tight, feeling that little bit of a stretch. And we'll just have our 3 minutes. So giving yourself now just time, just again, focus on the breathing. Now the breath is going to be your anchor. So when you're focusing just onto that breathing, it's really going to help keep and kind of still the mind and stop the mind from wandering. Now there'll be a certain point where the breath will start just to maybe disappear. So when it starts just to disappear, this is where we really kind of focus on any little sensations or anything which is coming up in the body. And it may be that you kind of have an itch on your left ear. It may be that you have kind of something going on in the right big toe. So again, it's all going to be relevant, all relevant in the bigger picture. Now these will be more kind of sensations, things that we're actually feeling. Maybe certain things that are going on inside the body. You may feel popping and bubbling, vibration, little twitches, all inside the body. Again, we can just register them just so we know that they're there. Okay, so there's our 3 minutes. So we're just going to maybe loosen the belt a little bit and let that leg come back down. I'm just going to keep that one there and bring that other leg in. So that right leg will be nice and stretched out now, so it should be fine just to kind of place straight out along the floor. So again, just move your belt in just where you feel accommodates you most. And just remember, just being careful when you're pulling that belt up, that we're not kind of really raising up in the hip. Make sure we still keep the length along the side of the body. So again, we just have our 3 minutes holding here. Once you feel that you're comfortable. Now, also another thing what starts to happen when we're in a yin practice is when we feel those sensations and things going on, and then we start to move away from those, and you can have other things which start to pop up into the mind. So it may be things from a long time ago, or it may be things from yesterday or last week. So let them come in, because that's all in like the unraveling process of the body once we start to kind of really unwind with the fascia. So allow them to come in and just allow them to go again. So they'll have come to the forefront, you'll remember them kind of after the practice. So don't let it disturb you too much in your practice. So you may even notice after a couple of minutes in, you'll find that that edge starts to go. So you can always, after kind of, if you was doing this for longer than 3 minutes, then by all means, after that, you know, if the edge has gone and you wanted to kind of keep there and work on it a little bit more, then by all means, kind of increase that stretch and then hold for a little bit longer. But aim to have kind of that minimum of about 3 minutes. Okay, so we're just coming up now just to our last few breaths here. Okay, and after your next exhalation, just give yourself maybe just a little bit more belt. And just moving that, just bringing that leg down just to join the other one. And again, just keeping the body quite aligned. Let the feet just fall out to the sides. So have the arms relaxed, body relaxed, face relaxed. Just taking a few breaths here. So just maybe about 1 or 2 breaths should just do it, just for about 20 seconds or so, just in this position. Okay, and then after that, just drawing the legs in. And then we can roll over to your right side and bring yourselves up. Okay, so I'm going to just remove the belt for now, leave that just out of the way. And if you have got your cushions and things handy and all those sorts of things, then, or your bolster, just having that is just going just behind me. Now, facing you, I'm not too bothered which leg you're going to start with on this. So we're just going to have one leg bent up against the bolster. Other leg is just going out to the side, okay? So from here, you then are going to turn and you're going to look along your bolster or your pile of blocks and cushions and things. So we're going to turn the body as much as we can and keeping it. So we'll start to feel maybe a little bit of a pull coming across your hips. And we also have one leg in an external rotation, the other in internal rotation. So we're turning, I'm feeling that twist now, kind of moving up my spine and bringing in all these muscles and tendons just along my back. You can either hold here or you can bring yourself down over your bolster. You can turn your head in the direction of that top leg, or if you want a little bit more of a twist, you're turning your head and you're just holding here. Okay, so when you get yourself into that position, and again, just taking the time, just focusing just on your breathing. And if you're closing your eyes, you're taking the focus more into just a being mode. So you may be able to sense a little bit more, just in fine detail, just how you actually feel inside. When the eyes are open, we're often more in a doing mode. And we're looking for external stimuli to kind of bring something in for us. So there's nothing more rewarding in times when we just kind of close our eyes, when we take that focus inwards, and the answers start to come up for ourselves. Again, with this focus, just with your third eye chakra, most of the things that we need to know in our lives, we already know. We already know the answers to. Now, it may even be in this sort of practice that it's a good time just to kind of reflect on the things which we feel that we're grateful for. So we can think maybe just about the things that are around us. And we don't even need to open our eyes. We can just be kind of aware of all our things around us, even the room that we're in, all the things that we have, the things that you're using for your practice, the time of the day or the space that you're in to be able to do your practice. Your body moving in a particular way, for you're able to do your practice. So all these things should be grateful for. So in your own mind, or you might even want to say it out loud, we can just kind of express that gratitude and say thank you. Again, just noticing how it feels, maybe from the beginning of when you got into this position. I know for me, I had kind of more of a pull across my back as soon as I got into this, and that feels now like it's really just disappeared. Okay, so just taking one more breath, and after the exhalation, just slowly and carefully just starting to bring yourselves back up to sitting. So we come up and we're just going to turn with our back against your supports. Just have the legs straight out in front. Just take a moment, just sat there, sat tall. And after your next exhalation, you can move into the other side. Now, what I would say is all you need to be able to do is to just bend your legs, and then you can again turn and come over the bolster. So you can come into it that way and just maybe take a moment, just sat here first, and then come forward. Now, for me, I'm just going to move my bolster just so I can keep an eye on like the time and everything for you. So from here, we're just turning and then coming forward. So again, you can either kind of just stay here for a moment, maybe having your third eye just down towards onto your support, or you can have the head just turning this way. It just makes it feels a little bit easier. Or you can turn the head, if you have the range, you can turn your head then away from the legs. So whichever you feel is a more preferred side for you. Okay, just with full attention just on the breathing. Oh, and I don't know if you can hear that. That was like nice rumbling of the stomach. So kind of creating all that space. And that just takes me really nicely into saying about the vagus nerve. Now, the vagus nerve that we're working on, especially in this yin practice, the vagus nerve is one of 12 pairs of nerves in the cranium. And it's the 10th pair. And it's the only nerves, we have two of them, the only nerves which come away from the cranium, so away from your head and come down your neck. And it actually influences and it goes to every single organ in your body. Now, your vagus nerve, it sends messages from the brain to those organs, and the organs send messages back to the brain. It's responsible as well for our parasympathetic nervous system and that response. So the response for that is rest and digest. So we need to really have that time to be able to rest and to allow the body to process, to digest, and to do all its work. So that was nicely kicking in there while I'm kind of in a relaxed mode. So really important just to take this time out for yourself, just to breathe well and to fully immerse yourself in your practice. Okay, so after your next exhalation, slowly start again, just to bring yourself back up. Just turning away from your support, stretch the legs out, and just taking, just maybe about 20 seconds or so. So just 2 or 3 breaths. My stomach rumbling again. Okay, so I'm just going to move this support and thing out of, well, the big bolster out of the way for a moment. And for this next, you'll either need, excuse me, either cushions, or you can use your block for this. I'm going to sit sideways on, so you will be able to kind of move into a different pose from this one. So I'm going to sit long ways on my mat. Right, so Gomukhasana legs to begin with. So I'm going to take that right leg and I'm going to take it underneath my left leg. Then I'm going to relax the left leg and then bring that leg up and over the top. So I'm sat on a block, and again, make it kind of as high up or as low down as you want it, as long as you're feeling a little bit of a stretch. And you'll feel it kind of coming here. This is where I can feel. Most times it's going to be here. Now, if there is an issue kind of getting the legs in this position, then you can always keep this top leg, you can just keep it there and then keep working it to move across. And then from there, we can then start to get the hip to relax and to come over. Now, we're going to just place the hands just onto the legs for a moment, just rolling the shoulders back. Now, after we've been here for a few breaths, you can either remain here, or if you feel that we've created enough of this space, we keep this space here as we come forward over the legs and placing the hands down. Your head can maybe just go to kind of onto your knees if you can, down to the floor. I know some of you are okay with it there. Or you can just have the head just resting just onto a block. Again, but making sure that you feel as if you are still feeling something. So if that's not really working for you, then again, you can stay upright and just keeping it here. Okay. So we're already probably about a minute into this now. I know it can be kind of a little bit of a tough pose for some to be in. So just doing what you can, just do your best with it. And just think again, just about keeping the focus with your breathing. Trying to relax out any areas that feel a little bit tight by the focus of the breath, just allowing them to release and let go. So just being aware if we're holding on to any tension anywhere. Just breathe it out. Just release, just let go. Okay. So if you were forward, just bring yourselves up now. And again, just give your shoulders a bit of a roll back. And now from here, we're going to take it into, in yin, it's called swan pose. So we're going to be taking this top leg and bringing it back. And we're going to be taking it all the way back behind us. So my block is already kind of pretty much in place. So this leg can just move across just a little bit. And we can just take a little benefit here of a little bit of a back bend. So we can place the hands down and it's going to keep that lift up in the chest. Nice back bend. On the back foot, make sure the foot isn't rolling out. You see how I've just rolled to the little toe side? Keep it pressing more into your big toe. So that leg stays in alignment and with the whole of the front of the leg facing down to the floor. Now, once we've taken a couple of breaths here, then we can start to bring it forward. So I'm just going to start to bring the hands forward. Again, you're not wanting to collapse in the chest. So keep the arms stretched out as you come forward. And we can either, again, just hold here, or if you're more comfortable with it, then you can place the head down onto the mat, onto a cushion. So we kind of work, between the two. So even here, so with the cushions, relax the top part of the body, allowing my hips to do a little bit of work. Again, but I'm not feeling as if I'm kind of really hanging on by a thread here. It feels kind of, I can feel the stretch, and it feels comfortable to breathe. So working it wherever you feel is going to be the best range for you. Okay, so with this vagus nerve, again, this is going to be, it's a really important nerve just to allow the rest of the body to process and to do everything it can for the best for your body. Now, we can tend to get kind of inflammation as well of the vagus nerve. So we maybe feel this sometimes with with brain fog. I was like, brain fog and memory, things to do with your memory and fatigue. So fatigue and constipation, all those sorts of things. So anything where the body's not working properly, the vagus nerve is going to have an impact on this, especially if there is that inflammation. So this is why it's so important to be able to kind of get yourself to rest properly. So good quality sleep, and just kind of taking time out for yourself away from kind of work situations and kind of get involved in the play stuff as well. Okay. So now after your next exhalation, we're now going to bring that back leg and bring it all the way back round. Sit on your block, just with your legs straight out in front. Again, hands just pressing down. Keep the length through the sides of the body, legs stretching out in front, and just maybe let the feet just soften a little bit. Take a few breaths here. Just notice how it feels. Okay. So if we're ready for the other side, I'm just going to turn my block a little bit. So it's point more near the front. So I'm going to take my left leg underneath and my right leg, make sure the hip is quite relaxed, and then bringing that leg up and over the top. So again, once we sit and we feel that we're comfortable with it, and if that's not accommodating for you, if you've put all your blocks in and everything like that, still not working, then have that leg lifted up a little bit more or keeping it here, just working with it there. So now there's always one side as well which kind of feels a little bit more easier than the other. So kind of bear that in mind and just work with that. And then place your hands just onto your legs, sit tall. Remember, we're not kind of like Sergeant Major, just sit tall. Feeling that stretch, so you'll feel it kind of on here now because I've got the right leg on the top, right into that right bum cheek and across there. So only giving that stretch out into the piriformis muscles and all the fascia around that area. Now remember, when you're sat tall, if you're able to, really lift from here, come forward, and then you can place either the head down onto the knee, place it down onto a block. If your knees are really low, you may be able to get the head down onto the floor. So work with what you've got. And we don't need to worry of what stage we're actually at. So if you feel that somebody else is doing it and they've got further, don't feel as if you need to really step up to be as far and to go as far as where they have. So just keep it so you're working just to the best of what your body does for you. And it might be just beneficial, maybe just coming back and thinking about your intention. Think about the reason why you're practicing, what it is you want out of the session. Your focus, your intention may be completely different to somebody else's. So just being aware, any flutters, any movements that happen in the body. You may even feel a drop of one shoulder or a fluttering underneath the skin. Okay, so we're ready now to move on. So we're going to bring that top leg, take it all the way back behind us. I can move my block over slightly. Moving my leg out a little bit, and then making sure that the front of the big toe side is pressing down more towards the floor. So I can just place my hands down, get as much as we can out of a little bit of a lift in the chest and a slight back bend on this. So notice how it feels, and making sure again that we don't feel as if we're really working into it. We're just working to be able to get that find our edge, that's all. And then once we're here, take a few breaths. Notice where we're at, even after a few breaths. Now, when we're coming forward in this, so again, keeping the length and coming forward. And you need to maybe just ask yourself whether you were coming forward you don't want to just collapse into the pose. So making sure that you feel as if when you're coming into the pose, you're coming into it for all the right reasons. Now, when we talked about the vagus nerve, one of the most influential parts in the body is the gut with the vagus nerve. So it's going to really focus whether you're going to the toilet a lot or not a lot, and everything in between. So sometimes, and obviously it's what we eat as well, but just whether the responses from the vagus nerve tell the digestive system, tell the gut how to work, has a massive effect on how we're relaxing and whether we're getting enough sleep and whether we're doing the right things for our body. So sometimes we need to kind of really step back and look at those things just to see if we're doing all the right things we can for our bodies. Again, just to remind yourself where you're breathing from. Is it in the belly or is it up in the chest? If it is up in the chest, then we're overworking these muscles up here. So we need to, and that'll then also has an effect on the muscles around the neck. So just being aware of that and directing the breathing just down towards your lower part of your belly. Okay, just taking one more breath here. And then we can start just to bring ourselves back up. We can bring that back leg round. I'm just going to move my block in so I can sit just with my legs straight out in front. And just take 3 breaths here. Okay, so after that 3rd exhalation, you're going to come over just onto your hands and knees. Now you will need your block handy, so just 1 or 2 blocks in front. You can just place them like so. Now you can place your left hand on there. We're going to be taking our right leg forward. Now on the back knee, just making sure that you're not right onto the central bit of your kneecap. Just be kind of slightly towards the top of it. Just makes it a bit kinder on the knee. Now we have a couple of different kind of focuses with this. So we're going to either keep the knee directly on top of the ankle bone, and you can just stay here. You can work into a little bit of a simple twist with it, just with one hand onto there. Or you can always come down just onto the forearm if you want to get a little bit lower. Now, there's also as well, if you know that you're okay kind of on the stretch there, and if you're good with your knees, if your knees are quite strong, draw the leg back a little bit and then take your knee over the ankle bone. This is going to give a stretch just out into one of the main muscles, your soleus muscle, the back of the calf muscles. And this is really going to help to kind of give a good stretch out there, as well as really releasing kind of all that fascia, which gets really tight if we're out walking, if you're out running or anything like that. It's going to tighten up in that area. Now you can either just hold it here, or again, you can come into a little bit of a twist with it as well. So you can start to just feel a little bit of a wringing out just through your waist and through the top part of your back, through the chest, through the shoulder. So make sure on the back leg that we're not just kind of dipping right in. Still feel as if we are actually holding the legs together slightly. We don't just want to swing into the hip joint, into the hip flexors on the leg that's back behind us. Now this is one that's kind of a little bit of tough going because of the angle of which we're in. So again, you might just want to just close your eyes, and it's a good time to think about all the good that you're doing. So all the benefits of this practice. Think about your intention. And think about the benefits to the vagus nerve and how that is going to affect your body. So for better inner workings of the body. So it may be nice, even with this type of practice, just to play some nice, soft, soothing music. And keep it more kind of instrumental music, not so much with the words, because otherwise you're going to hang on to those words. So some of the Hertz music is maybe going to be more beneficial. Now, in these type of poses, the dragon poses, these are great for kind of getting that fascia release. So if they're, so not just on the muscles, so the fascia or connective tissue, everything that kind of gives our body its shape, it's going to really kind of help. It takes it to kind of like the extreme in these positions. So I've noticed some really big changes when I've been doing these poses. Great to be able to get all that kind of unraveling going on and making us feel a lot freer, a lot easier to move. Okay, just take 2 more breaths here. Okay, and then bring it back. And just sit back just for a moment. Maybe taking the forehead down onto a block or just onto a cushion. And then we're ready to go for the other side. So I'm just going to change myself round. Just, you can obviously just stay in that same position and then just bringing the other leg forward. I'm going to only do it so it doesn't, you're not kind of like just looking at the back of me for the whole time. So left leg is forward this time. And again, with that right leg, make sure that you're not just onto your kneecap, up a little bit higher. Have that focus, whether you either want the knee directly on top of the ankle bone and then working into it, or if you're working more just to give the stretch out in the calf muscles. So again, ideal if you've been walking a load, if you've been running, but again, just be careful with your knees. You're not wanting to kind of load on the knee. So just make sure that you're feeling more of your stretch here. So it'll kind of get right into your Achilles as well. You can bring your arm down and work into the twist, or you can stay up high. Again, remember just to keep the focus of the legs pulling in a little bit, so you're not feeling as if you're swinging into the joints. Again, we're just holding here for a little while. Now, if you want to just close your eyes. Now, this time, just rather than the things around you that you're grateful for, think of the people around you that you're grateful for. Now, when we think of that, we often just think of the people who are nearest to us. So our family, maybe your partner, maybe your children, your mum, your dad. So think a little bit further. So think about the people maybe that you see through your day. Maybe somebody who you walk past when you go on your walk, they'll go past and give you a little nod. Now, sometimes a little bit of reassurance in that. So when you're seeing that same person, I remember going to work a few years ago and getting on an early bus to get to work. and you see the same faces, and the same faces nod. It's something comforting. It makes you smile. So thinking about that, maybe somebody that you see in a shop, somebody who serves you like every day or every other day in the shop. They're always there, they always have a smile. So think about these people, express your gratitude and say thank you. Okay, let's just take 3 more breaths. And then bring yourselves back. So just bringing that leg back and just easing back. Again, take your block or two just to place your forehead onto it. Okay, and then slowly making your way back up. So if you make sure now that you've got some just cushions or something nice and soft on the floor, if you want it, because we're going to be taking our legs out. So as wide as you can comfortably go, we're coming forward with our left arm and the right arm is going through. So we're just going to be placing just, I'm going to put out the way a second. So if we're just going to be placing our right arm to go through and placing the shoulder down onto the floor. So you might want just maybe a cushion or a blanket just underneath that right arm or the back of the shoulder just to make it a little bit more comfortable. So on here we're taking the focus just again onto the inner thighs, into your hips, the length through the sides of the body, also taking us into a twist and kind of getting a little bit of mobility just back into the shoulders. Notice if you're able to fully release and let go. Notice if you're holding onto any bits of tension anywhere. So thinking about that unraveling process. The body holding on to any little bits of trauma through the whole of your life. You're a long time kind of getting these knocks and dents, whether they're emotional or physical knocks and dents. But it's all held in our connective tissue. And also in the Svadhisthana chakra, so our seat of emotions. So when we can work the hips, we can allow the hips just to open, to move more freely. It also help to release that emotional trauma that we're holding on to. But pulling the body as well into these shapes is really going to help just to iron out if there is any little niggles that are going on. Let's just take 3 more breaths here. And then when you're ready, just slowly start just to bring yourselves back up again. And just take a moment just with the legs just together. Just take a couple of breaths. And then we're ready for the other side. So notice how far that you took the legs apart, if that feels okay, or if you needed to adjust that in any way. I'm again just going to move around this way just so you're not just looking at the back of me while we're doing this. So again, taking the legs out as wide as you feel okay to go with it. If you do need to have anything just underneath your shoulder, then by all means take your blanket there. So we're going to slide our right arm forward this time. It's really creating a lot of length through this side of the body. And you can even do it with your left and then bring your left one through so we can get the shoulder down. And you stretch your way through that right arm. Again, just allow the attention just to fall maybe just onto your breathing. And then we can just, after a few breaths, you can start to let that breath just start to dissolve. So it leaves you just with the sense of just sensing what's going on inside the body. Fluctuations, movement, sensations, even maybe a temperature change. Okay, and now we can start just to maybe think about somebody really close to you, somebody who really makes your day, somebody who always just makes you smile. So this could be your partner, could be your children, it could be your pets. And just think about all the goodness that they bring into your life. All the love that they show you. Always there for you. They always have your back. And just think about how grateful you are for them being in your life, for everything that it means to you. Express your gratitude and say thanks. Okay, and now after your next exhalation, slowly start to bring yourselves back up. Again, bring the legs back together. Just sit for a moment. Just noticing how you feel. And then softly open your eyes. Okay, so we're going to have one more pose left before coming into Shavasana. So for this, so if you want to grab everything that you need just around you. Now in this pose we're working just to really open up through the front of the body and before coming down. So you can grab everything you need and place it there. I'm going to be laying back over that. Have your blanket and things handy, so when we come up out of this one you can just simply roll this out of the way and then lie yourselves flat. So everything that you need is handy. So I'm going to place that just ready. Okay, so make sure that you're up against your support and then just laying yourself back over it and let the arms just kind of fall out to the sides. Now my feet at the moment, I'm pushing away through my heels. I'm encouraging my tailbone just to tuck under. I'm just getting that shape of just allowing the shoulders just to simply kind of like move down and just to relax. My head, I can just roll that from side to side and then find that point just in the center. When I feel I'm ready, I'm just going to let my legs just soften. So maybe I have to bring them in slightly closer together. That's it. Just let the feet just relax. I have to move that arm because it's on the wall. So just taking a breath here. So just allowing your heart center just to feel open. So all the things through the practice which we've expressed our gratitude for. So all the things that are around you, everything you have, your house, your flat, your bungalow, just a shelter over your head, the food in your cupboards, the clothes on your back, all the things that you have around you, the nice things, the practical things. Expressing gratitude and saying thanks. All the people around you, the people that you meet, maybe in the shops, on your walk, on your run, people that pass you by. Express gratitude and say thanks. And then for your nearest people to you, your loved ones, maybe your mum, your dad, a carer, your children, your brothers or sisters, your family, or someone who feels that close that they could be family. They've always got your back. They're always on your side. Always make you smile. Express gratitude and say thanks. Again, just notice how you feel. Any twitches, any sensations, any changing in temperature, any softening and sighing of the body. Notice the quality of your breathing. And then after your next exhalation, you're going to start to slowly move away from your support behind you. You can either just roll over to one side or bring yourself right up to sitting. You can just roll your supports away. If you need to, you can place them underneath the backs of the legs so they're onto there. And then take your blanket and wrap yourself up in your blanket. And you're going to wrap yourself so you're nicely tucked in. Maybe have a little bit of room just for your feet, just to fall out to the sides. But tucking in just nice and cozy. Like a swaddled baby, or like a burrito or a wrap. And just tucking yourself in. So you're just lying down, just motionless, in full alignment. Resign yourself just to lying still. Just to allow the body just to time to process, time to recover. Being in that moment and just enjoying that peace, that serenity. Allowing the body just to simply be. So just allow the breath to now simply just dissolve away. Simply dissolve. Notice any sensations, any feelings. And take this time now just to show yourself some love, some gratitude. Some gratitude for taking the time to allow your body to stop for a moment, to nourish the body, to give the body what it needs. Time for you to spend just solely on yourself. Your body works hard for you all day, every day, 24/7. One of the best things you can do is just allow the body just time to rest, time to stop. To rest, digest, rest, and repair. So time now for you to just appreciate your body and appreciate your body for just how it is in this moment, and how it'll be in every moment. for the way that your body moves for you, and for the way that your body maybe doesn't move for you. Just appreciating it all, being grateful for it all. So express some gratitude for your own body and say thank you. So just now, just bringing the awareness back. And still maybe just keeping the eyes closed, but just being aware of your surroundings. Okay, and all those nice things around you. So bringing in sensations, maybe across your fingers and your thumbs. How your skin feels. How you feel. Maybe bringing in any of the sounds. Swallow a couple of times. Just bring back your sense of taste. And still just keeping the eyes closed. But start to take a good stretch. Stretching out in whichever direction you feel you need to stretch. So taking that stretch of like pandiculation, so really stretching, and you'll feel the limbs start to be more rigid as you stretch. And as we stretch, it often brings on a yawn or a sigh. So, be loud with it. Be really vocal. Again, when we wake up kind of in this area, in the throat area, when we feel the vibrations moving in this area, this really helps to stimulate the vagus nerve. So being vocal. Now, after your stretch, you're just going to then roll over to the right side. Still keeping the eyes closed. And bring yourselves up to sitting. Sit nice and tall. Now we're just going to do 3 Om chants before we do our complete finish and sealing our practice. So if you want to sit tall and just have your palms facing upwards just onto your legs, you can join the index finger and thumb together. Still with the eyes closed. We really want to feel the vibration of the Om come right from the legs, right up to the crown of the head. And all we do is a simple inhalation, and then on the exhalation, we just sound out the word Om. Okay, so exhale first, and then inhale. then bringing the palms together. Again, with the hands together, just the palm of the hand just slightly freer again, as if holding onto something precious. And that something precious in the palms of the hands is your light. The light that you shine. And then taking the hands up over the crown. Slowly draw down, bring it down towards the Ajna chakra, the third eye, your intuitive center. Bring it down to the Vishuddha at the throat, where you speak your truth and listen well. The Anahata chakra, your center for love and compassion. The Manipura, which gives you your will and your drive, your determination. The Svadhisthana, for your new beginnings, your creativity and your change. And the Muladhara, for your strength and your stability. And just bringing the hands briefly to the Anahata chakra. Again, this center for love and compassion. Just always remembering to hold a place there for yourself. And now rubbing the hands together quickly, making the hands warm. Placing the palms over your eyes. And first, you're opening your eyes to the darkness. Absorb the energy from the hands, opening the fingers, and allow the light to come through. And just moving the hands away. Bringing the hands back down to your heart center. Center again for love and compassion. Always remembering to hold a place there for yourself. Namaste. Okay, hope you all enjoy the session and hopefully see you all soon.